Down the hatch!
So we're gonna do something a little different today. We're gonna play Jet Li's The One asking you to get him a coffee. If you don't know who Jet Li is, he's like the Y2K Jackie Chan. Well, not necessarily Jackie Chan. He relied more on, realistic style martial arts, And he did a lot of Hop Fu movies. He was with DMX. He was in John Romeo Must Die, right? They called him Dim Sum, which was a little too on the nose. And I think he had a thing with Aaliyah. But that's like years old lore, if you knew about it. So we're just gonna go straight into this. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna meet Jet Li. He's gonna ask for some coffee. So we're gonna give him the deets on some coffee. You arrive at 9 a.m. It's the fourth day of filming, so your morning routine has become automatic. Grab your headset from the front desk, check the schedule, and talk to the set coordinator. When you're done, it's time for your real task of the day. Take the actors' coffee orders. You wander the lot for a few minutes before you find the star of the film, Jet Li. You've been a fan of Jet Li since you're little, true? You've seen everything from Shaolin Temple. I haven't seen Shaolin Temple, but I did see Once Upon a Time in China with Wong Fei-hung. So, Romeo Must Die, 2000. Now your dreams has come true. You got a job as a production assistant on his set on his upcoming film, The One, 2001. You're starstruck, but you're doing your best to be professional when you talk to him. Ask Jet Li for his coffee order. Good. Okay. You ask Jet Li what kind of coffee he'd like. Okay. A cup of black coffee, please. Okay. Wrong. You probably could have guessed that. He always asks for the same thing. Strong black coffee. If it's not strong enough, there'll be trouble. You saw another goofer get fired yesterday for giving Jet Li a 2-week cup of joe. You head for the coffee table to brew the strongest pot of coffee you can. When the coffee is ready, you pour a little bit into a cup and take a sip. It's pretty strong, but it might be too weak for Mr. Li, unfortunately. Unfortunately, there aren't any beans left. You sigh and pour a cup of coffee for the actor. As you head back to Jet Li with a cup, you see a group of crew members sipping their own coffees, looking around. You see that the whole crew is drinking coffee. A sea of disposable cups looms before you, and the cup of coffee in your hand. Perhaps if it defeated the other cups, the one you hold could become the most powerful cup of coffee on set. That's not how this works. You approach your first challenge. A half-empty cup held by the key grip. It looks scrawny in your cup. It should be able to be easily. The cup hops out of your hand, squares up. The key grip's cup follows suit. Much to the surprise of the key grip, the cup circles each of their respective owners. You can give your cup one of the following commands. No, ask later. Let's do the Viper Strike. That sounds cool. You tell your cup to perform a Viper Strike. The key grip still doesn't seem to know what's going on, so you say nothing. Your cup runs at the other cup and jumps into another air. The key grip's cup does nothing. Your cup dives at the other cups and delivers a devastating blow, dealing 12 damage. The key grip's cup collapses. You defeated key grip's cup. The key grip looks down sadly at his cup of coffee, which has fallen over and spilled on the floor. Your cup hops back into your hand. It feels strong. You walk away, leaving the key grip to mourn their fallen cup. Oh, wow, we're starting off. You approach the best boy, who was adjusting some of the lights on the set with one hand, holding his coffee in another. Your cup hops out of your hand once, and two coffees square up. The best boy glances over and grins. He seems to know what's going on, and is ready to leave his cup of coffee to victory. You can give your cup one of the following commands. So we're being surrounded by 2 cups of coffee at once, so I think as a coffee, we gotta defend ourselves. We attack. Oh boy, things are getting intense. The best boy's cups down looked at his body. Seeing itself in one piece, you look up at your cup and laugh smugly. Suddenly the cup gasps. Its body splits in two. Hot coffee spills out everywhere. The best boy falls to his knees and howls in memory of his fallen beverage. Your cup hops back into your hand. It's coursing with power. Now this is the great cup of coffee. You move on. The director is standing by craft surfaces, coffee in hand. Before you even approach, you can sense the weakness he's holding. There's at least 2 lumps of sugar in that thing. He's got his teaspoon ready to... This will be a piece of cake. You tell your cup to use a Viper Strike. It leaps into action, flipping through the air without spilling a single drop. The director's coffee takes 24 damage and is smashed with style. The director's cup shatters into tiny million fragments. Sweet coffee and cream splattering on the floor. He looks at you with anger, tears welling up in his eyes. He starts to say something, but stops. On a closer look, you notice he's not looking at you. He's looking at your coffee, your powerful, beautiful cup of coffee. He's crying freely now, but says nothing and turns away. The actors are chatting by one of the lighting rigs. The director is in his backseat, but he's caught up in the conversation with someone from craft services and hasn't called for anyone to take their places. There's probably still a few minutes before they're ready to start rolling again. You walk up to Jet Li, who's seemingly laughing at a joke Jason Statham just told. With no small amount of trepidation, you clear your throat to get his attention. Excuse me, Mr. Li. He looks over expectantly. I got your coffee. Jet Li out to take the cup of coffee from your hand, but you hesitate before giving it. You look down at its surface. The surface is a gleaming reflected back. There's a thin plume of white steaming off of it, into the cold air around you. It smells so inviting you can't help yourself to say it's perfect. You take a sip. The one releases that November. It's critically panned, but you're not paying attention to that. After that day, you had a hard time paying attention to anything other than the pursuit of your own The One in coffee form. You had no way even knowing it had released atop of your ziggurat where you stand, challenging lesser coffees. The end. That was it. That was Jet Li's The One asking you to get a coffee. There you go. That... I am nobody's bitch. You are mine. If you don't know what Jet Li The One is, Jet Li The One is essentially this evil version of Jet Li is killing all these other Jet Lis across the multiverse so he can harness the power and become the one, the only remaining Jet Li with godlike power. But he escapes from the multiverse police to find the other Jet Lis. He meets this one Jet Li who's like dawdling, confused, and whatever. He tries to ruin that Jet Li's life. That Jet Li's life gets ruined, and then they have an epic battle. After that one epic battle, the 2 Jet Li's are sent to the multiverse thing, and They catch the evil Jet Li, and the evil Jet Li is sent to a prison planet, a prison colony. In that prison colony, he stands on top of the ziggurat and he goes, "I am nobody's bitch! You are mine!" I thought it was the most badass thing ever. I rewatched it. I'm like, oh yeah, I could definitely tell why it's campy and cringy, but like, to me, when I was a kid, that was cool. Plus, it had Jason Statham. Jason Statham and Jet Li went hand in hand. Well, you know, it's a crappy D-flick action film. But at the same time, it's Jet fucking Li, so obviously it's gonna be choreographed well. Plot-wise, not so much, but it was pretty cool. Pretty badass. Anyway, this is Clacko, over and out.